Welcome back for another That 80's Show review, thoughts from one Idjit, me, Paul Mackey. This is another podcast episode originally released in audio-only form last summer. I'm continuing to advance past one delay in releasing new podcast episodes only to have another in my path immediately afterwards. So for now, I'll keep making these and releasing as I can. Who knows? Maybe the workflow after I get through That 80's Show will wind up being make episodes on YouTube first, then release on the One Idjit's Thoughts podcast feed later on, rather than the other way around. Was 2002 too soon to attempt to tap nostalgia for 1984? 1998 was apparently not too soon for 1976 in terms of its predecessor series, nor was 1992 too soon to portray nostalgia for 1976 in a film like Dazed and Confused. Now, by the That 80's Show math of an 18-year spread, we would today have to be nostalgic for 2004, and maybe a target audience of 18 to 24-year-olds feel that's a good idea, but I'll leave those marketing decisions for someone else. And instead, I'll get into That 80's Show Episode 2, Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. Katie is super into Valentine's Day, but Corey and RT are less enthused being alone. A mysterious box of chocolates is at the record store, and while Corey and Tuesday assume it belongs to Margaret, she in turn implies to Tuesday that Corey bought it for Tuesday, then to Corey that Tuesday bought it for him. Roger now says bro a lot. Katie's Navy boyfriend Owen is in town, and she has a very difficult time getting alone with him. The high point, I'm a little surprised at myself, but the box of chocolates scheme is probably the high point. The show obviously plans a Corey Tuesday will they won't they, and this is a contrivance to go forth with that intent. I think what I like is that Margaret was the instigator after having apparently received the box from Robert Plant, according to the end credits scene. But since I assumed she would be an anti-Valentine cynic, I did like that it went a different way. The low point, I would have to say, is Owen, the sitcom lunkhead. Many sitcoms have them. Sometimes they're named George or Dauber or Lowell. I can offer some points to anyone who can name those sitcoms referenced, but those points aren't redeemable toward anything. Owen is kind of like that archetype, but nowhere near as good as any of those guys. He shot for dullard, but only got up to dull. All right, is it an anachronism? Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo is prominently referenced, with Owen declaring that having not seen Breakin' 1, he was lost as far as the plot was concerned. However, this being Valentine's Day 1984, it would be a trick seeing that movie, as it was released for the Christmas season in 1984. So in this case, it's an unambiguously anachronistic reference, and also not all that funny. Additionally, Breakin' 1 was released May 4th, so the joke is 2 times incorrect. Runner-up for the anachronism category is Herbalife, which turned out it is not anachronistic, and is in fact in the middle of its first upsurge in 1984, making it an ideal reference. What worked? Well, they brought in Owen on shore leave, but otherwise stuck with the core cast for this one, and I like that they stuck with the core cast. Why did it suck? This episode was seriously dull. The few moments of primarily Margaret-based character work did not save it from basically nothing happening over the course of the episode. There's nothing egregiously bad, just a lot of bleh. So the next one up is the third episode of That 80's Show, Tuesday Comes Over, which would seem to imply that Tuesday will have some reason to go back to Corey's house. I've got to imagine this will be under some other circumstance aside from just wanting to visit. Well, let's hope it's an improvement over this episode, but considering the episode was a 13 and out, I'm not too hopeful. Until next time, happy hunting. Theme music for One Idjit's Thoughts On is Too Good by Jack Mangan and is used by his generous permission. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can reach me at idjitcastpodcast@gmail.com.